Stanley, Scuba, Sailing, and Adventures. If you've been wondering what it's like to deploy and enter a life raft in the water under ideal conditions, today you'll find out. When I purchased rum rations, she came with this old life raft that was 10 years out of service. I called to see about having the life raft serviced at a place in Florida near where I kept rum rations. They advised me that this particular make and model did not hold up well over time and that it wouldn't be worthwhile to get it serviced. I decided it would be fun and interesting to see if the life raft would still deploy, and also just to go through that process to see what it was like to really deploy a life raft in the water and try and climb into it. I didn't have high expectations, and as usual, I did read the instructions. I tend to do that sometimes. And the first thing it said to do was to cleat the line off to the boat. Well, that line is really short, as you can see. I think in an emergent situation, it might be better to tie another line to the ripcord for the life raft itself. The moment of truth. The line gets a lot longer as you pull it out. I was hesitant to pull line up before I had pitched it into the water, and I'm still not sure that I would ever want to do that in an emergent situation and have the life raft inflate prematurely. Again, these are ideal circumstances in a very controlled environment. I am wearing my self-inflating life jacket, and I thought I might as well test that too. Honestly, I was a little surprised when the life raft started to inflate. Needless to say, I was pleasantly surprised. It inflated very quickly, in fact, and I was ready to test the life jacket. The life jacket worked like a charm and rocketed me to the surface. I wasn't surprised. I regularly service the life jacket. I have another video that shows how to replace the bobbin and CO2 cartridge in the life jacket if you're interested. The life raft was still inflating and those red plugs needed to be closed. I don't know if they were overflow valves, but there was still gas coming out of the tank as far as I could tell and coming out of those plugs. When I closed them, the sound of the gas stopped. As you can see, I'm really struggling to get into this life raft. I can't imagine in rough conditions what it would be like. I assumed incorrectly that the baffles would fill when the life raft deployed. The baffles are these bags underneath, and if you just give them a good shake, water will get into them. This particular life raft has 3 baffles, 2 on the back side and 1 in the front. This little yellow line actually has like a step almost that you can use. I wouldn't really call it a step, but placement for your foot. Anyway, with the life jacket being so full, it was really kind of challenging to move around. So there I've unbuckled the front. Obviously you wouldn't want to do that in a real situation. Now with the baffles full, getting into the life raft is a lot easier. Still takes a little effort. Success. At this point I was thinking it'd be very helpful to have a paddle. Then I remembered there was supposed to be some sort of supply pack in a life raft. And certainly enough there was, tied to the front of the inside of the life raft. I identified a very small paddle that could be assembled in the pack. At this point, I wasn't ready to open the bag and see what all was in there. I decided I'd save that for another video. Here I'm pointing at those red plugs that were open, and I believe they were overfill valves. Not certain. There you see the tank in front. And that is a metal tank. With the baffles full, I decided I wanted to see if I could actually tip this raft over. And as you can see with the baffles full, it's extremely sturdy. I tried several times, but was unable to turn the raft over in any direction. The canopy on this life raft came with an opening that you could tie shut. Plenty of protection from the sun in this life raft. As I mentioned, this life raft was pretty old, and the person I'd called to see about getting it serviced advised me that the material wasn't high quality. The inside of the canopy was disintegrating. I'm not sure I could have crossed the Atlantic in this life raft, but it seemed fairly sturdy for being so old, and it seemed to inflate right away. So it's interesting that it being 10 years out of service seemed to work so well. I'm not sure what that really means. I decided I wanted to empty the baffles and turn the raft upside down to simulate what it would be like if it had deployed upside down. I don't know if that's even possible, but lesson learned here. As I go to turn the raft over, which was not difficult, I nearly hit myself in the head with that metal canister that contained the gas. Here you go. You watch it. It comes within inches of my head. Close. Again, I'm performing all of these activities in an extremely controlled environment, but I think I learned a lot from this exercise, and not that I'll be fully prepared if I ever need to deploy my new life raft, but at least I will have gone through that process once. Again, a quick shake of these baffles and they fill with water very quickly.
These water baffles have little weights in the bottom corner. There's like one little type of ladder rung here on the boat. These overflow valves that keep the raft from over inflating seem to be leaking. I had to put the cover on as soon as I got in the water. There were two of those right in the front. Had to fill the baffles with water before I could even get in it. And that's all the important things I can think of now. Good times.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.